Hi, how are you doing tonight? I'm Sean Cross, and my tabletop question is, what are some of the weapons or, I guess, instruments we can use in future wars? In my opinion, the weapons we have now are pretty advanced for a time. Just drones we can fly without humans, and basically we can have a remote control to fly a drone in the air. But in the future, I would see more advanced bombing would be one of them. Second one would be, I hate it how it always boils down to robots, but it would be a tank that you can joystick. You can sit on the other side of the globe and control a tank and basically bomb a whole city just by a computer screen. Video games today are highly advanced and they do a good job of, or they make it up, but it's like some Halo games have a very advanced weaponry, but it's hard to think of that in real life, but that's what it might boil down to in our near future. Probably before we hit the age of 40, we'll probably have some highly advanced weaponry. We might have really advanced weaponry now in the United States Army, we just don't know about, but the general public just doesn't know about. My cousin's in the Army, and he can't tell me a lot of stuff that he knows. I understand that, it has to be kept a secret. But then again, back to my question, I think it would be more robots or vehicles or just drones, tanks with no humans in them, just all controlled by instruments and computers and just long distance technology, just to keep humans safe. Thank you all for listening. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Do you even think there will be a need for humans to be even soldiers anymore?
Yes. Well, one would be disciplined, but the threat's not really there. Say if I had 1,000 robots coming to infiltrate your village and you had 1,000 men, which one would last faster? I know it's still bugs and like we don't have a walkie-talkie robot that can think like a human can. And I don't think so now, but in the future you really can't predict it. It might come down to that. It's pretty scary to think of. But any other questions? Yeah.
One of the newest weapons of the military we spent a significant amount of money developing is like a form of riot control. And what it does is it focuses like a high frequency wave on an individual and heats their skin, causes basically intense pain. It's a way to control riots, kind of like taser and stuff. How do you feel about weapons like that?
What's the distance on it?
I don't know what the distance was, but they said that it doesn't cause any life and apparent harm. It just inflicts severe pain and basically stops somebody in their tracks.
It feels like your skin's on fire?
Yeah, it feels like you're on, like you're hurting for the day, on fire, unbearable pain. Basically, it's like a death ray. They just point it at you, hit you with some type of waveform, and then drop you.
I mean, I've heard of a similar weapon. It doesn't heat your skin, but it's a very, very low frequency sound that you can't hear, and it's just very, very, very intense and knock you off your feet. You'll be walking them, and if they play in your direction, you're falling around. If you have an army of men coming at you, then you can use that weapon you're using, or the weapon I'm talking about for sound frequency, and it would drastically change just tactics of war. And I complained to my cousin who's in the Army about engineering and say that most stuff's useless, and he said, well, my job's useless. What if you have the flank from the rear, you have a attack coming in, what do you do? It's like, well, that's what he does. He sits there and it's a science of Army, it's science of engineering. It's similar, but then they're different. But I mean, that weapon that you have, if it's used like any weapon, if it's in the right hands and it's used smartly, then yeah, I say good for it. But as soon as evil people in the world take control of it, and my opinion on it will change.
What about if it's used on like a civilian, like riot management? Not military personnel.
It's the same way I feel about a taser. Riot management, and I can see where it comes from. Because situations you need control.
You mentioned robots. Well, if a leader of another nation sent robots here, and our army destroyed all the robots, but there are no casualties, Do you think that's effective? Do you think a non-casualty war would end the problem? Like, wouldn't we eventually want to go and kill the people responsible and not just stop at the robots?
So what would you gain and lose? In my eyes, it would just be money. If we had a non-casualty war, we would just lose a lot of money. What do you feel that we would gain from a non-casualty war?
That's why I was asking, because the robots, even though they're like a fighting force, it still ends up that you need to kill people responsible.
Correct, and one opinion to your question is that we can have robots on the front line and then have troops coming behind them. And it's like, hey, we're here, so, you know, hang out, thanks for doing dirty work for us. That's what, yeah.
Do you feel that war is a necessary evil? I mean, with the terms of like population control and everything. Like, take for instance the Civil War. It killed approximately half of the reproducing male age in the United States. If we have a massive war with China, we kill all half their reproducing population.
That's totally an argument by itself, but I have 2 points to saying that if you want to argue that the world's overpopulated and we need a massive or a partial extinction of men just for mankind to keep going on, that's one side. I'm not saying I believe in that side, but that's one side. Another side is saying that we don't need war, but war has a little bit to do with how this country was built and how it was discovered and made. And ever since people have been writing down history, there's been wars. It all boils down to, I don't like you, you don't like me, what are we going to do about it? I don't want to say war is necessary. The way to describe it, when I was young one time at PE, and all of a sudden I got in a fist fight with my best friend, and we both got bloody noses. My teacher came over and said, what happened? I don't know. Broke into a fight one time, and it's basically how a bunch of wars start. It's like there's just tension, and then there's a big event that goes off, and then they break out into a war. So to answer your question, I guess war is not necessary, but it's to an extent inevitable if it's almost built into our blood. It's hard to explain.
I get what you're saying. There's always a bigger bad dog out there. Like we like to police the world, and sometimes it infringes on somebody else.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.